Meeting someone for the first time is like opening a book whose pages are slightly blurred. You catch glimpses of their thoughts, emotions, and habits, but how much of it is really clear? Human personality is complex, layered, and often unpredictable. Sometimes, a smile hides a worry, a laugh masks a fear, and a confident voice conceals uncertainty. Understanding another person fully in a single encounter might seem impossible, yet it's a challenge we all face every day, whether in work, friendship, or casual encounters. Stoic philosophy gives us a fascinating lens to think about this. The Stoics were masters of observing human behavior, not judging it immediately, and looking for patterns beneath the surface. Seneca once wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." In other words, the mind can misinterpret or jump to conclusions about others. Stoicism encourages careful attention, reflection, and patience like watching a river flow. The surface may move quickly, but the depth reveals the truth. It's not about guessing or controlling the other person, but learning to notice what's real without being swept away by assumptions. And that brings us to the heart of the matter. How can we, in a brief meeting, move past first impressions, assumptions, and appearances to truly sense another person's character? That's the question worth exploring, because the insights and techniques for doing so can transform every interaction, making relationships deeper and more meaningful. If this peek into understanding personalities got you thinking, don't let the conversation stop here. Hit that subscribe button to join us on this journey of uncovering what really makes people tick. Smash the like if you've ever misjudged someone at first glance, and drop a comment sharing your experiences, because sometimes hearing how others see the world can open your own eyes. Let's explore the hidden depths of human character together. Number 1. Body language. When you meet someone for the first time, a lot is said without a single word. The tilt of a head, the crossing of arms, the way someone walks into a room. These subtle cues are windows into personality. Overthinking every word can make us miss these signals. Yet the Stoics remind us that careful observation often reveals more than hurried judgments. Think of it like watching a bird at the feeder. The way it moves, pauses, and interacts tells you more about its habits than any single chirp. Stoics were masters of noticing small behaviors as clues to deeper character. Epictetus wrote, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Observing body language is essentially listening with your eyes. A calm posture might reveal patience, while restless gestures hint at inner tension. By paying attention to these subtle movements, we start to understand a person's temperament without forcing them into our assumptions. Stoicism teaches us that patience and quiet observation often speak louder than words ever could. Imagine meeting a new colleague in a crowded office. You notice they maintain steady eye contact, but their hands fidget slightly. A Stoic approach would have you pause, notice, and reflect without immediately labeling them as confident or nervous. Over time, these small observations can form a picture of someone's character. It's less about instant judgment and more about understanding patterns, much like how a farmer learns to read the weather from the clouds and wind over years of experience. By tuning into body language with mindful attention, we start to navigate first meetings with greater clarity. Marcus Aurelius said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." Observing carefully, without letting assumptions cloud your perception, allows you to uncover subtle truths about personality. In this way, even a single meeting can reveal far more than casual words ever could, and the Stoic skill of patient, thoughtful observation becomes your guide. Number 2. Eye contact while listening. Have you ever noticed how powerful eye contact can be during a conversation? When someone truly looks at you while speaking, it feels like they're fully present, and it often reveals more about their character than words ever could. On the other hand, fleeting or distracted gazers can hint at hesitation, discomfort, or even hidden emotions. Eye contact is a subtle but incredibly revealing cue, and learning to observe it thoughtfully can help you understand personality on a deeper level, even in just one meeting. The Stoics placed great value on attentive observation, believing that careful perception was key to understanding people and the world around us. Seneca wrote, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." While this might seem to reference inner control, it also implies that self-awareness sharpens perception. By practicing calm, focused attention while someone speaks, you notice patterns in their expressions, the timing of their glances, and the way their eyes light up or narrow. This mindful observation gives insight into intentions and temperament without judgment or hasty conclusions. Imagine sitting across from a new teammate during a project discussion. You notice they maintain steady eye contact when explaining ideas, but quickly glance away when asked about past challenges. A casual observer might miss this, but the Stoic approach encourages reflection. What do these shifts reveal about confidence, caution, or thoughtfulness? It's like watching a skilled cook at work. You don't just see them stir the pot. You notice their subtle gestures, timing, and rhythm, which tell you far more than the finished dish ever could. Over time, applying this Stoic perspective on attentive observation transforms your understanding of people. Marcus Aurelius said, "When another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar complaints, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are." Observing someone's eyes while listening is one way to penetrate inside and gain clarity. By combining patience, awareness, and sensitivity to these small cues, you can begin to understand personality far more accurately, even in a single meeting. Number 3. Handshake strength. It might sound surprising, but something as simple as a handshake can reveal a lot about a person. Is it firm and confident, or hesitant and weak? Does it linger a moment too long, or pull away abruptly? These subtle cues offer a glimpse into someone's confidence, social comfort, and even approach to relationships. While it's just a small gesture, paying attention to it can give you insights that words alone often cannot. The Stoics valued keen observation of both small and large behaviors as windows into character. Epictetus wrote, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Beyond control, this insight can be interpreted as encouraging careful awareness of what presents itself. A handshake is one of those moments, a brief but meaningful piece of information about a person's temperament. Observing it thoughtfully, without rushing to judgment, aligns perfectly with the Stoic emphasis on reflection and attentiveness. Consider meeting a business partner for the first time. A firm handshake might suggest decisiveness and self-assurance, while a limp one could hint at uncertainty or perhaps shyness. Overthinking or projecting assumptions onto it can be misleading, but a patient, attentive approach allows you to note the nuance. It's like noticing how a horse shifts its weight before moving. Small signals reveal intentions before words do. Over time, learning to read these subtle gestures strengthens your understanding of people in a single meeting. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." Observing a handshake carefully is about gathering perspective, not making snap judgments. By combining this awareness with thoughtful reflection, even brief encounters can provide a surprisingly rich sense of personality, laying the foundation for better connections and understanding. Number 4. Responding to silence. Silence can feel uncomfortable, especially during a first meeting. Most people rush to fill the gaps with words, small talk, or questions. But what if that pause itself is a window into personality? How someone handles silence, their comfort, their composure, their timing can reveal patience, thoughtfulness, or even hidden tension. Listening to what isn't said is often just as important as hearing what is. The Stoics were masters of subtle observation. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." Courage, in the Stoic sense, isn't just about bold actions. It's also about the quiet confidence to sit with oneself and respond deliberately. When someone navigates silence calmly, it may reveal self-assuredness, reflection, or emotional stability. Stoicism teaches us to notice these small, revealing behaviors without jumping to conclusions, allowing insight to emerge naturally. Imagine meeting a new colleague who pauses for several seconds before answering a question. At first, the silence might feel awkward, but observing carefully can provide clues. They may be considering your words thoughtfully, weighing options, or simply reflecting internally. Overthinking or interrupting could obscure these insights, but a patient Stoic approach allows you to recognize the signals hidden in that quiet moment, much like noticing a pause in a musician's melody that gives the entire piece its rhythm. By learning to respond to silence with awareness and patience, we can gain a richer understanding of personality in a brief encounter. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." In the same way, observing and appreciating silence without rushing to judgment gives you the ability to understand others more deeply, noticing traits that might otherwise be overlooked in the noise of conversation. Number 5. Smile type. A smile can be one of the most revealing parts of a first impression. Not all smiles are the same. Some are quick and polite, others warm and lingering, and a few may feel forced or guarded. Observing the type of smile someone offers can give subtle clues about their openness, emotional warmth, or even hidden anxiety. It's a tiny gesture, but it often speaks louder than words, offering a glimpse into personality in ways that conversation alone might not. The Stoics paid attention to small actions and expressions, understanding that human behavior often communicates what words cannot. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In the context of observing a smile, this insight encourages us to notice the nuances without overinterpreting or projecting our assumptions. The quality of a smile, when observed patiently, can reveal authenticity, confidence, or social sensitivity. Stoicism teaches that careful, calm observation allows truth to emerge from subtle cues. Imagine meeting a new client who greets you with a quick, tight-lipped smile. At first, it might seem distant or reserved, but observing further, maybe their eyes crinkle slightly, or their posture relaxes, can offer hints of their true comfort level or openness. Conversely, a broad, genuine smile paired with steady eye contact can indicate warmth and confidence. A Stoic perspective encourages noticing these patterns over time, like a gardener watching how a plant responds to sunlight and water rather than forcing growth instantly. Over time, learning to read smiles with mindful attention strengthens your ability to understand people in short encounters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." By observing without rushing to judgment, even the briefest interactions can reveal personality traits that might otherwise go unnoticed. A smile, when noticed carefully, becomes a doorway to insight, connecting first impressions to deeper understanding. Number 6. Common words. The words people choose, even in casual conversation, can reveal surprising layers of personality. Some people sprinkle their speech with optimism, others with caution, and a few tend to repeat phrases that hint at their core values or fears. Listening carefully to these patterns beyond the literal meaning can offer glimpses into mindset, priorities, and temperament. Words are not just tools for communication, they're windows into the inner world of the speaker. The Stoics believed that observing language was a powerful tool for understanding human nature. Seneca wrote, "Every man is a teacher if you watch him well." Applied here, this suggests that careful attention to someone's words, even repeated phrases, can teach us a lot about how they think, feel, and approach life. Stoicism emphasizes mindful observation rather than jumping to conclusions, helping us decode personality signals embedded in speech without rushing to judgment. Imagine meeting a new colleague who frequently says, "I'll try," versus someone who says, "I'll do it." The difference might seem subtle, but it offers insight into confidence, decisiveness, or hesitation. Similarly, someone who often references teamwork or empathy may prioritize relationships, while someone focused on results or efficiency might value achievement more. These word choices, small as they seem, act like fingerprints, unique patterns that can reveal character in a short encounter. Over time, learning to notice common words with a Stoic lens strengthens our ability to understand personality in even brief meetings. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Observing words without immediate judgment allows us to gather meaningful insight while respecting the speaker's individuality. By paying attention to the language people habitually use, we can uncover subtle truths about their character and approach life with greater clarity, even after just one meeting. Number 7. How to introduce yourself. First impressions matter more than we often realize, and how we introduce ourselves sets the tone for any meeting. A confident, calm, and genuine introduction can open a window into your personality and encourage the other person to reveal theirs. Whether it's a quick handshake, a brief smile, or a clear statement of who you are, these small choices signal values, priorities, and confidence. Stoicism teaches us to approach these moments thoughtfully, with awareness of how our demeanor communicates more than our words. The Stoics believed in living authentically and presenting oneself with clarity. Epictetus wrote, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This advice applies perfectly to introductions. Know who you are and what you want to convey before stepping into a meeting. Doing so ensures that your introduction is grounded in sincerity rather than habit, nervousness, or the desire to impress. The way we present ourselves reveals much about character, not only to others, but also to ourselves. Imagine walking into a room full of new colleagues. A rushed, mumbled introduction may signal insecurity, while a composed, thoughtful greeting immediately establishes presence and self-awareness. Even small details, like whether you make eye contact or smile naturally, can reveal your level of openness and confidence. A Stoic approach encourages observation and reflection. Notice how the person reacts to your introduction, the cues they give in return, and how your own behavior aligns with the values you want to show. Over time, refining how you introduce yourself becomes a tool for understanding others in the briefest encounters. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." Be one. By consciously embodying authenticity, patience, and attentiveness during introductions, you not only reveal your own character, but also encourage the other person to show theirs. A simple, mindful introduction can transform a short meeting into a rich opportunity for insight, connection, and understanding. Number 8. Dress and style. The way someone dresses or carries their style often speaks before they even say a word. Clothes, accessories, and grooming choices are like unspoken signals of personality. They hint at values, confidence, creativity, or even comfort with social norms. Observing these elements carefully can offer subtle clues about how a person approaches life, work, and relationships. In a single meeting, paying attention to these visual cues can provide insights that words alone might never reveal. The Stoics believed that external appearances can reflect inner character, but only if observed thoughtfully. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." In the context of observation, this reminds us that noticing how someone presents themselves requires attention, not judgment. Style is not a superficial detail. It's a form of self-expression, and the Stoics teach that careful, calm observation allows us to see patterns in behavior and personality without jumping to conclusions. Imagine meeting someone who wears bold colors or unique accessories. They may be creative, expressive, or unafraid to stand out. On the other hand, someone in a classic, understated outfit might value tradition, reliability, or simplicity. A casual observer might overlook these clues, but a Stoic approach encourages noticing the details, the way they pair colors, the care in their grooming, and even the choices in their footwear. Like reading the footprints of a traveler on a path, these small details tell a story about their habits, priorities, and self-perception. Over time, learning to read dress and style with mindful observation can sharpen your understanding of personality in even brief encounters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look." Observing how someone presents themselves allows you to gain perspective on their character, temper, and values. By noticing without rushing to judgment, even a short meeting can provide a surprisingly rich sense of personality, giving you tools for deeper connection and insight. Number 9. Mobile phone management. In today's world, how someone handles their mobile phone during a meeting can reveal surprising aspects of their personality. Are they fully present or constantly checking messages? Do they respond immediately to notifications or let the phone rest while they engage? These small choices can hint at attentiveness, patience, priorities, and respect for others. Even a brief interaction can give insight into how a person balances focus, responsibility, and self-discipline. The Stoics valued mindful attention and presence in all interactions. Epictetus wrote, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This idea extends beyond personal discipline. It can guide how we observe others. When someone manages their phone thoughtfully, it reflects deliberate behavior and awareness of social context. Stoicism reminds us to notice these patterns carefully, understanding personality through actions rather than assumptions. Imagine meeting a new business partner who places their phone face down and maintains eye contact during your conversation. Contrast that with someone constantly glancing at notifications. The difference isn't just etiquette, it reveals how they handle distraction, multitasking, and focus under pressure. Observing these habits without judgment, much like a Stoic watching the waves of the sea, can provide rich information about priorities, temperament, and even integrity. Over time, paying attention to how someone interacts with their phone sharpens your understanding of personality in a single meeting. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The way someone manages their attention, reflected in even small behaviors like phone use, offers a glimpse into their mental and emotional patterns. Observing carefully and patiently allows you to gather meaningful insights and understand another person's character more deeply, even in a brief encounter. Number 10. Use of pronouns. The words people choose, especially pronouns like I, we, or they, can reveal subtle layers of personality. Someone who frequently says, "I" might lean toward independence or personal responsibility, while someone who uses "we" often could be emphasizing collaboration and shared goals. Paying attention to these small linguistic patterns can give insight into values, priorities, and interpersonal style, even in a brief meeting. The Stoics were keen observers of human behavior, recognizing that small patterns often reflect deeper truths. Seneca wrote, "Men are not disturbed by things, but by the view which they take of them." When applied to pronoun use, this reminds us that language choices reflect perception. How someone frames themselves in relation to others provides a window into their mindset. Observing these patterns without immediate judgment allows us to understand personality more accurately and thoughtfully. Imagine meeting a new colleague who often frames statements with "we" rather than "I." This subtle choice suggests they value teamwork, inclusivity, or shared responsibility. Conversely, someone who consistently centers themselves in speech may prioritize independence or take ownership of outcomes. A Stoic approach encourages you to notice these tendencies patiently, like observing a tree's growth rings. They quietly reveal history, character, and patterns over time. Over time, tuning in to pronoun use enhances your ability to read personality in short encounters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be." B1. By noticing how someone frames themselves through language, you gain insight into their character, priorities, and social style. Even brief interactions can become meaningful windows into personality, helping you connect, understand, and respond more effectively. Thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. Understanding someone's personality in just one meeting isn't magic. It's about observing carefully, noticing subtle cues, and reflecting thoughtfully, just like the Stoics taught. Every gesture, word, and expression holds meaning if you pay attention, and even small insights can transform the way you connect with people. Keep practicing these observations, stay curious, and you'll start seeing layers of character that most people miss. Your next conversation could be the start of a deeper understanding and stronger connections.